Hey, it's Lamont, your favorite dating coach, matchmaker, and relationship counselor. So look, I recently got engaged. I'm super excited and overwhelmed all at the same time. My friends, my coworkers, people I know really have been asking me all these random questions like, when's the wedding? What are you wearing? Are you gonna keep your last name? All these questions that are kind of like up here. And I'm like, can you ask me something a little more deeper? Like, are you really ready to get married? Is this the right one? How are you preparing for marriage? Right? So I came up with these 7 different considerations or things I feel like couples should do before they get married. Before you walk down the aisle, these are things I really think you should do. And I want to have the conversation with you today here in my home, in my kitchen, because this is where me and my fiance, we have these types of conversations while we're preparing our food, while we're making dinner. We talk about love and life. So I want to welcome you in here and have the conversation today. So the first thing I think individuals and couples should do before they consider getting married is self-love. Make sure you love yourself. I think so often individuals get into relationships and they expect that the other person is going to bring self-love, self-worth, more meaning, more happiness to them. Like it's the other person's job to make you love yourself or feel better about yourselves. And that's just not how it works. If you're going to be in a relationship, you have to love yourself. You have to enjoy being around yourself. You have to have a good attitude. You have to have good mental health, physical health, financial health. You want to be the best you that you can be before attaching yourself long term with someone. And I think it is the trick of the devil, they say, is that you want someone else to bring happiness to yourself. Take the time, invest in yourself, make sure you're happy, make sure you're whole before attaching yourself with someone long term. Self-love. So number 2, I think couples should be committed. Choosing to love. You are choosing to be in a long-term relationship for the long haul. In relationships, there are ups and there are downs. Some couples write vows and they'll say in sickness and in health. And in health, it's great to love the person, but what about in sickness? In mental health sickness, financial sickness, physical sickness, right? If you're going to be in a long-term relationship with someone, you want to make sure that you can appreciate the good times, but when things are challenging and hard, you are there for your partner. Your partner is not always going to be his or her best self. And when she or he is not their best selves, that is the best time for you to show up in the relationship and show your commitment and how you can work through those different things. So the next one is communication. This is why most marriages end in divorce. They don't last because 2 individuals are not able to communicate effectively. If you're going to walk down that aisle, going to sign that marriage license, you got to learn how to communicate. You have to be able to communicate your fears, your desires, intimate details, the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. That way the 2 of you can hear each other, you can understand each other, and you can get through the hard times. Communication is so important so that people feel appreciated, they feel heard, and they feel understood. So number 4, I think couples should make sure they prioritize each other. So often couples put their friends, their family members, their job, and even their children before their relationship. And I think that's a big no-no. Make sure your spouse is your top priority. When you're making decisions as big as like, what job should I take? To as small as I'm picking up takeout, what will he or she want? Yes, even as small as takeout. Make sure you prioritize each other's thoughts and feelings. If you heard the saying, happy wife, happy life, yes, that rings so true because you have to show that you are prioritizing each other's thoughts and feelings. So next, let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. You all remember that song? You might not. So yeah, whatever. I think sex is a key part of a marriage. You should realistically be meeting your spouse's sexual needs. Sometimes sex is going to be great, might even be a little weird or not so good. That is fine. I think as long as you're having the conversation between each other and saying, hey babe, this is what you can do to make me feel better. Let's schedule a date night. Yes, sometimes you have to schedule sex. As long as it's occurring, that is just amazing. Make sure that you are communicating about your sexual needs so that you both feel sexually fulfilled. So the next one is forgiveness. In many couples, marriages, they struggle with this one because it's inevitable. In a marriage, your spouse is going to make a mistake, and that is okay. It's about how you rebound from it. I always say you should use it as a learning opportunity and move on. You should not hold your husband or your wife's mistake over their head for the rest of the relationship because it'll become toxic. The key to getting over mistakes is to address it, learn from it, and then move on so you can have a healthy relationship. So finally, I tell couples, you get to create the rules. There are two people in a relationship, so you two get to decide what works well for you two. You can use the information that you've learned from your past relationships, what you've been taught by your friends and your family members, or what you see out there. Consider that information and then decide what works well for you moving forward, or just recreate your relationship. I always tell my couples, I want to use another F word. Forget what other people expect your relationship to look like, because at the end of the day, it's just the two of you who are going to be in that relationship. So you two get to make up the rules for your relationship. Well, I hope you've enjoyed some of these tips before considering walking down the aisle and marrying the love of your life. If you really enjoyed this video, share it. Or if you are considering getting married or having some couple issues, check us out at betterwaytomeet.com, and I'm happy to have the conversation with you one-on-one. Until next time, peace out.